meet him. He's dangerous. Let me show you. Let me show you a picture of what I actually didn't take a picture of myself.
Of the Dark King.
Of the Dark King.
You went. First of all, you went to a Halloween party last night.
Yeah.
Oh, you mentioned this in the group chat.
Yeah. It was at Jordan's friend De'Arian's place. Nice place.
De'Arian's?
De'Arian, yeah.
All right.
Where is dude?
Come on, man. What? You didn't have any, you don't have your pictures ready?
That's the thing. I didn't.
What are you doing with your pictures, man?
I actually didn't even take any pictures.
You didn't take any pictures?
No, I was so concentrated on drinking that I just didn't even think of it. And that's not even a lie.
So you had a good night.
The Dark King presenting. The Dark King.
Okay, it's a skull in the skeleton
Yes,
with a crown.
Dark King.
Okay,
with a cool cape. I'm making capes now. I'm doing capes now.
You're.
I think I got multiple compliments to say to wear them casually.
You're a cape guy now?
I guess I have to.
You're not a cape guy now.
I had multiple people say, like, the cape looks really good on you. You should wear it.
Do not ever wear a cape in front of me, bro. I will roast the fuck out of you. You will not make it out of that room alive.
I'll meet in the middle and go with an overcoat.
That's some school shooter vibes, bro.
Never know when you might need it.
Jeez.
I never know. The path my life will go on is unknown to me.
You're not in school. You're done with school. What are you doing?
You can't walk into a school and be a shooter. School shooter isn't a student school shooter. It's just school shooter. You can do whatever you want. Elementary school. Like, you think the guy, like the school shooter he killed all those elementary kids was like, well, he's not really a school shooter because he didn't go to school. No, he was. He was a good one, too. Which means he's a bad one.
What's poppin', players? Welcome back to the Penny Gamescast. I'm your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my...
When did you start that?
Minute and 40 seconds ago.
Was it on the Dark King thing? The cake thing? Okay. Yeah, well. Overcoat or normal coat. I'll do one of those. Hey, that's a spooky topping. That's a spooky talking point for Halloween.
It's Halloween. We're recording
special.
On Halloween, bro.
Yes.
It's Halloween. It's very late at night, so I've gone out. My mother's birthday is on November 1st, so we went out and we celebrated tonight. So I've had a few. I had a lot of food. I'm a little heavy. I just saw some live theater for the first time, so I might be a little tired here. Who knows? Who knows, Connor? But you came in with a good energy. You perked me right back up, I will say.
Excellent.
Anyways, I'm your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host, Connor Elliott. Say hello to the people, Connor.
Howdy. Howdy.
And if you didn't know, every week, me and Connor, we gather around these little microphones here, and we bring to you the new news that you need to know in the video game industry. We come to you each with 2 topics, 2 pennies, if you will, and we give you our 2 cents on them. But if you'd rather watch us play games, you can watch us play live over at twitch.tv/2pennygames. This week, or as we do every week, we have a little show called Hype. Have you ever played? It's me and my good buddy Phil, in which one of us shows the other one a game that they have never played before. We are currently working our way through some God of War 3 remastered right now. And, we're having a good old time. So come check us out Tuesday, 1 p.m. Central Time, as we continue that adventure. This last week, we tried some Outlast 2. Let me tell you what, that game, boring as fuck.
Boring?
Super boring. Was not a fan.
Are you getting chased around a lot?
No, I just didn't get, you know what, we'll get into it. We might get into it a little later.
Okay.
Anyways, but, Connor, let's go ahead. Let's drop some sense on him. Let's get right into the news. Let's start with this Bobby Kotick shit, man. Mm-hmm. So, we're pulling an article from thegamer.com. Rhiannon Bevan, sorry for the name pronunciation there, spare a thought for Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick, who will only make $62,500 this year. As Activision Blizzard faces some of the most damning allegations seen in the gaming industry, many were concerned that CEO Bobby Kotick would still be taking home his usual millions this year. Just before the accusations came to light, we reported that he had been approved a pay packet of $155 million, and that was after a 50% reduction. However, in a statement today, Kotick has pledged to take home a much reduced salary of $62,500. He says that this will also include any bonuses which he will be, quote, asking not to receive. Kotick, whose net worth is estimated to be anywhere between $600 million and $7 billion. It's a big difference, the gamer. Says he has asked the board of directors to put his pay reduction in place until Activision Blizzard has met its goals in countering abuse and discrimination. Quote, I have asked the board to reduce my pay to the lowest amount California law will allow for people earning a salary. which this year is $62,500. To be clear, this is a reduction in my overall compensation, not just my salary. I am asking not to receive any bonuses or granted any equity during this time. The wording in the statement doesn't appear to rule out the possibility of a bonus, however, as Kodak's pay is being handled by the board. He is asking to not receive any bonuses, but that is not a guarantee. For clarification, the gamer has reached out to Activision Blizzard asking the company to pledge that Kodak will refuse any bonuses he has offered, or, at the very least, donate them elsewhere should he receive them. The company has not responded at the time of publication. It's worth noting, he's already this year taken home millions of dollars in bonuses from earlier this year. So, not like the hardest of lines there, Bobby Kotick.
I mean, like he's
really
very secure.
My stuff.
And the subtitle also mentions that he could get by. Apparently, he has shares in Coca-Cola. You know, considering how big of a guy he is, probably has a lot of stock in Coca-Cola.
When you get to this level of economics, bro, you're set for life, bro. As long as you don't like fuck it up like real hard, you're gonna be fine. So
yeah. Which, like, simultaneously, it's good that he was doing that, especially if it could go back to workers, which the negative part of that is it's probably not.
It won't.
No.
It'll go to some other board member, or, you know, it'll find its way back to him somehow or some way. This is such a gilded statement. Like, we don't believe you.
But the problem with that is that it may seem like a nice, positive thought, but what goes on behind the scenes could have been, you know, we gotta get ourselves a good headline out there, take a pay cut, you're already, you know, you've already made a bunch of money this year, you're making money elsewhere, just do that so we can look better in this whole fiasco rather than actually fix the problem.
Also, you're sitting here saying, I'm only doing $62,500 for people who make it. Are your employees really making that much? And they're probably working a lot harder than you, and they're probably having to deal with a lot more shit than you. So, come on, dog. Like, this Activision Blizzard stuff continues to just kind of be a thorn in our side, our being, you know, the industry as a whole. And it's continued to be just constant reminders that we have a lot of progress to make here. But, Connor, speaking of progress, speaking of things changing, let's talk about this PlayStation news here, Connor. So Sony has formed the PlayStation PC label for its PC games push. We're pulling a Video Game Chronicles article by Andy Robinson. On Wednesday, Steam users noticed that the platform holders' PC releases had their publisher switched to PlayStation PC LLC from the previous PlayStation Mobile label. According to a corporation wiki listing, Sony Interactive Entertainment registered the PlayStation PC name in April this year via its California-based headquarters. Although the name appears to be a formality, it represents another strong signal that Sony intends to increase its gaming output on the PC platform. So, clearly this is, you know, in light of the news of God of War coming to PC early next year, Horizon Zero Dawn's there, Days Gone is there, Death Stranding, you know, all these big Uncharted 4 is making its way to the
Lost
PC.
Legacy as well with that.
Yep.
So, they obviously want to get into that market, which it's about time that they should.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You know, the walls are falling. The gates are falling on what used to be exclusivity and all this. So it's nice to just everybody gets to play their things where they want to play it. And really, when you think about these titles on PlayStation currently, God of War, Uncharted, Horizon, like, these aren't big multiplayer titles to where, like, you know, it's important that you only get it here. Like, you can get this money anywhere. It's not like, oh, for this specific experience, you need to come here, you know, to play with your friends or whatever, you know? And it's like, at the end of the day, like, really, they can double dip, you know? They're going to get the crowd that, you know, wants it day one and, you know, wants to play on PlayStation first and it's, you know, quote unquote, runs better on PlayStation or whatever they want to say in their marketing beats or whatever. And then a year or 2 or 3 later, it comes to PC and then you get that PC audience who doesn't have PlayStation.
Yeah, and I know you probably met a lot of people who have PCs. Even though PS4 exclusive games look good, they never buy a PlayStation 5 or want to because they already have a PC.
They already have a PC, so might as well you know, dip into that crowd and get, you know, the game running at uncapped frame rates and higher resolutions and you know, better overall performances that you can get with these high PC rigs. There's no way to lose here.
No, not at all.
So, you know, cool, neat, we're continuing to see our progress with PlayStation bringing its titles to PC, and it looks like it's going to be a solid thing, especially with the acquisition of, where was it? It's in this article. Nix's Software earlier this year, where they're known for making PC ports for a whole bunch of games. They did Tomb Raider and Deus Ex, Hitman, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's very, very clear that PlayStation has the PC market in its scopes.
Yeah, and I think a key reason why that's going on is because Microsoft, they're the big other company, is
Microsoft
tapping into that,
knocking down those walls, and Xbox in general is in this mode of like, hey man, we're just trying to do the best for the gamers as much as we can. Mm-hmm. But so I wouldn't say Xbox necessarily considers PlayStation their direct competitors anymore, even though they are. But it's not like a 1-to-1 direct thing. But PlayStation absolutely sees Xbox that way.
Yeah, it's not like the days in the past where they're in the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, you had people arguing online like, well, you shouldn't buy an Xbox 360 because the PS3 is for lamos and doo-doo heads.
I mean, we still have that.
We still do, but it seems the companies aren't as big into that competition anymore because they're able to make money regardless of, if there's this big console war going on.
There's a lot more nuance in the conversation. There's some more gray in the conversation, and I think it's just all for the better.
Yeah.
Let people play where they want to play.
For all bad things about the industry itself, that's just a good one.
It's solid.
Yeah.
It's solid. Now, something we're not quite sure if it's solid yet or not, but we're going to find out, aren't we, Connor?
But leaks are solid.
Leaks are solid. So, a bunch of leaks. Connor, this is going to interest you because I know this is some properties that you care about.
Yeah.
A bunch of leaks for a Warner Brothers Multiverse's design doc have leaked, including characters and stages. Design documents, again, VGC from Jordan Midler. Design documents that include characters, stages, and even mechanics for the unannounced platform fighting game Warner Brothers Multiverses has leaked. It was first revealed this month via multiple sources that Warner is making a new fighting game featuring characters from its various IPs. The latest documentation, which first appeared on Reset Era, reveals that the game will use a Smash Bros. Style knockback percentage system, with the example given showing Jake the dog from Adventure Time. Next page shows off some 2v2 gameplay from Wonder Woman, Gandalf from Lord of the Rings, and an alternate color for Jake the dog, suggesting alternate costumes. The fourth character, which could not be identified, is rumored to be an original character exclusively for the game. Meh. According to the leak, the various playtests, which are said to where a large amount of information is being taken from, have featured different character rosters, with Garnet from Steven Universe and Arya from Game of Thrones used as examples of characters that have featured in some sessions but not others. It's also worth noting that the images in this leaked design documents match earlier Twitter posts, which showed a roster that included Superman, Batman, Harley Quinn, Rick Sanchez, and Steven Universe. Speaking in a Giant Bomb video on Wednesday, journalist Jeff Grubb claims to have heard that Multiverses could be a free-to-play title with future characters sold as DLC, including LeBron James.
Oh.
Warner has previously mixed its IPs on several occasions. Video game Lego Dimensions combined numerous characters from its franchises, including the Lego Batman movie, the Lego movie, Batman, The Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Scooby-Doo, etc., etc., etc.
I read that the same way you did, too.
Yeah, right. So, we're getting a Smash Brothers thing, but with Warner Brothers characters. And then there's, several, different leaks and images being shared around on Twitter of character rosters. We got Batman, we got Superman, we got the Gandalfs, we got Rick from Rick and Morty, we got Tom and Jerry, we got some Scooby-Doo stuff going on. Connor, does this tickle your fancy at all?
Okay, so, first off, it's really weird. In my, seeing those, with Nintendo properties, obviously Smash Bros. Is the thing that this is based off of. It makes sense for those, for that to exist, because, first of all, they're video game characters, as it is, and their art styles, the styles of those characters can fit in to the same universe, the same kind of game. You can make it work pretty easily. This one, not so much. This isn't a bad thing, but having Gandalf and Shaggy, two very, very different characters. One's from a live-action movie. The other one's from a classic animated TV series, which still goes on today. and then also having people like Steven Universe or Fred Flintstone, if that's true. I mean, I don't know if that's not.
Johnny Bravo's
Johnny Bravo
presented in an image. Mad Max is there.
Yep.
Scorpion and Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat, which would be strange.
And from those roster leaks that we have, and seeing those screenshots of the characters in the map, apparently, it does look a little bit weird. Because, they don't look like their characters, and they're trying to reach some kind of balance, and they still don't always look the same. That being said, as far as the actual game mechanics could go, really, it can go either way. We've had Smash Bros. Clones in the past. We recently had Nickelodeon All-Stars come out, and, we played a little bit of it. I actually haven't touched it since then.
No, me neither.
And I haven't heard many people talking about it online.
Nope.
I saw people talking the first day it came out.
Yep.
People like Leffen, a big fighting Smash
It
Bros.
had
player.
it had its moment of conversation.
But it kind of went away quickly.
Yeah.
I'm going to be
It was
honest.
okay.
Yeah, it's okay. So playing the game, it's not like Smash Bros. Where I could see myself years and years now definitely playing that game. Nickelodeon All-Stars hasn't done that. So, it's kind of hard to match up to be on the same level as Smash Bros. And I'm unsure about whether this will be the breakout next Smash Bros.-like game. But it does have the good position of coming out after Smash Bros. Has ended. We're not getting any more DLC. Mm-hmm. We're not getting any subsequent titles.
Right.
So they could fill the hole that's inevitably going to start opening up when people aren't getting their Smash Bros. content.
And I mean, I think this has a better shot than Nickelodeon All-Stars to catch some favor. I mean, these are characters who matter a little more in a pop culture way.
Yes.
Bugs Bunny, Batman, Superman, Scooby-Doo, the Adventure Time guys, Gandalf. Yep. Like, these names matter more than Cat Dog or Aang from Avatar.
Monsters.
Whoever
the lady is from there.
So, there's something to be said there. These names are a little bigger, so there's a bigger chance for success. But it really just comes down to execution and how it works. In terms of art style, from these images that have been leaked and that we're looking at here, I think it mostly works.
Same here. Most of them look... It's just when they're contrasted with the ones that don't really work. Like
they've gone through and they've stylized, at least from these images, they've gone through and they've stylized the... Like, if you look at, the actual gameplay here, I don't know if you can see my screen here.
I was looking at my phone.
Yeah.
So what you're talking
about. They've stylized Gandalf and, Wonder Woman to fit next to Jake the dog from Adventure Time a little better,
Yeah.
And, again, it could potentially work. We'll see. But it's just a matter of, execution and what it looks like in the final product and, a finalized character roster. They're... mention of people coming in and out, and some people are there, some people aren't. I think that's mostly to do with licensing issues and stuff. When you're dealing with high-profile characters like this, it's very easy to get lost in the minutia of what character belongs to who and how we want them represented, and what our pay cut is for having that character in the game, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. Not that it hasn't been done before. Mortal Kombat right now has random-ass,
Freddy Krueger, Rambo.
Freddy Krueger's in there. Rambo's in there. The Ninja Turtles are in there.
RoboCop.
So there's examples of this happening in the past. But every time it does happen, it's always oh, this is cool. And then immediately it's okay, we can't port this game to a new console. We can't do it. It can only be on these certain platforms, and that's it. Mm-hmm. So, we'll have to wait and see on that. But in terms of, an initial pitch.
Hey, listen.
I don't see the need for this. We have Smash Brothers. Nickelodeon All-Stars came out and kind of it came and went. We already have a lot of these characters already in fighting games. Injustice exists. Mortal Kombat exists. Mm-hmm.
Which, on that side of things, like I said, there will be a hole that will inevitably form due to the fact Smash Bros. Isn't putting out content. And we know Smash fans love their content. They bother Sakurai all the time. We're like, who's the new character? Who is it? I hope it's Master Chief, otherwise I'll be angry at you.
But at the same time, this is the same fan base that goes back to a 20-year-old version of the same game with Melee. And, constantly, is, playing that version of the game again and again and again and again. And it never had any updates. So,
That is true. And then again, those people also are a lot older. They're the older heads who look back on the days of, remember when we had Melee? I remember how great that was. And they go back to it because they have those memories, and I don't feel that many Smash Bros. Fans today have the need to do that. I know I don't. I know you probably don't either.
I do not. No. I personally think Ultimate is the best version of Smash Bros. But that's beside the point. I do, however, enjoy this push where we're getting this weird, almost double A, like, sure, there's some money into it to, like, make it look a little nicer than some, like, indie games sometimes look like, but it's not quite as polished as it could be with some of these big old AAA games that we get from, you know, Sony exclusives or you know, the you know, your EA games or Ubisoft games, et cetera, et cetera. You know, it's just these, like, little, like, smaller games that, you know, they're a little janky, sure, but man, there's a lot of fun to be had. And, you know, to be a kid and be like, oh man, I can fight with Bugs Bunny, like, that's cool. That's a neat idea. And I can beat up Batman as Bugs Bunny. That's a really cool idea. I like the idea of that. But we'll see if it ever comes to actual light. Speaking of coming to light, Connor.
Something did.
I don't really quite know how much of this really, you know, is interesting to anybody. But, you know, we're going to find out. So, Amy Henning and Skydance's unannounced game is a new Marvel project, pulling an IGN article from Rebecca Valentine. Skydance announced the collaboration with Marvel Entertainment today, though it's not ready to reveal further details about which Marvel characters it might be involved in their endeavor. Excuse me. All we know is that it is being marketed as a narrative-driven blockbuster action-adventure game, and a completely original story and take on the Marvel Universe. Quote, I can't imagine a better partner than Marvel for our first game, said Henning. The Marvel Universe epitomizes all the action, mystery, and thrills of the pulp adventure genre that I adore and lends itself perfectly to an interactive experience. It's an honor to be able to tell an original story with all the humanity, complexity, and humor that makes Marvel characters so enduring, and to enable our players to embody these heroes that they love. Henning's partnership with Skydance has been running for a few years now, working alongside EA veteran and executive producer Julian Beek to kick off a brand new interactive division for their company. Skydance has historically been a movie production company responsible for films such as the Mission Impossible franchise, Star Trek, Top Gun, Maverick, and Terminator Dark Fate. But it's also had one relatively successful video game launch with VR title The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners. Skydance's new division is in experienced hands with Henning, who is best known as the writer and director of the Uncharted games at Naughty Dog, and for her work on other franchises like Jak and Daxter, Legacy of Kain, with Crystal Dynamics, and others. She departed Naughty Dog in 2014 to work on a Star Wars project at Visceral Games until the studio was closed in 2017. So really the real big news is the director of the first 3 Uncharted games is now working on a Marvel game. Marvel, of course, we don't have to speak on how big, you know, that type of news is, but it's a lot of Marvel games out here, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. It's getting to the point where I'm like, okay, maybe do something like different.
It's a lot of Marvel. It's just a lot of Marvel all over the place, man. Like the movies, all right, cool. You know, we get a movie every couple of months, neat. And then it was like, oh man, we get Spider-Man games every couple of years. That's cool too. I like that. Oh, we're doing an Avengers game. You know, it didn't really hit like that, but whatever. Oh, we've got more Spider. We got Wolverine. We got Midnight Suns. That's a lot of Marvel game. Oh, and now we're getting an Uncharted game, but it's Marvel. Okay, cool, neat.
It keeps going,
and we're just gonna keep going. All right, neat, cool. All right,
you know,
whatever.
In light of Eternals coming out recently, which has been the most critically panned Marvel movie out yet, it's had the least amount of hype behind it. I feel like we're going to see one part of the reason about why they go to games more is because we haven't really had, up until this point, a lot of Marvel games. You know, I know we had them back in the day. You know, you played Spider-Man 2. We also had, what other fucking, not Marvel versus, well, we had Marvel versus Capcom. We had that one
Ultimate Alliances and
yeah.
so forth. Yeah, I mean, sure, yeah, but those are all, you're talking PS2, early PS3 generation stuff, man. There's a big break in between there.
Yeah,
we really weren't getting games like that.
Yeah, right. And now we're getting those games once again.
And a lot of those games were movie tie-in games, which were not good and not doing anything.
No, but now we're in an era where Marvel has been some of the biggest names in movies. They make the most amount of money with their movies.
And I also don't understand the connection with Eternals.
No, it's not really Eternal specifically. More just like people seem to care less about the Marvel movies as things go on. You know, it's like I said, this newest one hasn't been the greatest indication of being the best Marvel movie out recently.
Shang-Chi and Legends of the Ten Rings breaking all kinds of records. Black Widow got screwed by the pandemic.
But didn't Shang-Chi like mess up some? Like, didn't like the sales were kind of misrepresented? Like they broke records, but they weren't meaningful ones.
It's like you got to grade it on a pandemic scale, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. We just have to wait and see. For
everything's just gonna be lower, like, but no, the interest isn't going anywhere. Like, sure, like early critics are saying, "Hey, man, this new Eternal movies is a flop." It's not out yet. The general public don't know yet. But it's just a lot. It is an overabundance of Marvel characters and Marvel stuff. Now, granted, there's a place for all of this, and the great things about comic books is that you can tell whatever story you want, and then just use these archetypes to where anybody can jump in and be like, okay, I understand what Black Widow is. I understand what Spider-Man is. I get Wolverine. So that's always fun and exciting to be like, okay, I get like the general pitch of this character. Let me jump in, have a cool adventure. Maybe it's tied into a greater narrative. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a one-off little quick fun thing. Who knows what we're getting. And when dealing with video games, which are usually often inherently power fantasies, might as well have the superhero make you feel like Batman or some shit. I understand Batman's DC, but that's the whole like make you feels like they came from the Batman games. Anyways, cool, but like sure, I'll be interested to hear more, but I'm not like creaming my jeans like going like, oh man, Uncharted but superheroes, whoa. Like I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, we'll see what this is and see if it actually comes into something, and if it actually releases this time instead of whatever Amy Henning was doing with Star Wars back in the day, which again was said to be everything we've wanted from a Star Wars game for years, that we still haven't really gotten in any meaningful way, but hopefully soon. Connor,
sounds like that's it.
That'll be about it. So let's go ahead. Let's jump into some what we've been playing here. Let's go ahead and start with you, man. What have you been playing this week?
Nothing. Move on to you.
Nice. All right. I have not been playing a whole lot either, but I'll go ahead and talk about what we were doing over at twitch.tv/2pennygames this last week. We were finishing off the last Tuesday in October. We were doing a little bit of a spooky season. We played some Until Dawn the first week, some Resident Evil 2 back-to-back weeks, and then we started Outlast 2 this last week. I had my hands on the controller. I'd never really played it before. Yeah, this game did not work for me at all. In direct comparison to the first one, this one had more open environments. It was more of like you're going through like this like village area type thing, and then there was like a supernatural element to it where you were getting flashbacks of different things, and this is just from the jump, it was just not working for me. Like the environments were too open. It wasn't clear if the there's a stealth element in Outlast because you don't have any weapons, you don't have any way to fight back. So you're constantly just running away and like hiding in lockers and hiding in like sewer grates or like wherever you can, like dumpsters and stuff. And sure, that element is still here. You're hiding underwater, you're hiding in barrels, you're hiding in lockers, you're running from building to building and stuff. But the open environment really, I found it very, very tough to figure out where enemy line of sights were. Like sometimes it felt like I was getting away with murder, and I was like, man, how have I not gotten caught yet? And other times it was like, how did he see me, dude? I was behind him. Like, what the fuck is going on? I'm in tall grass. You told me I was safe in tall grass. I'm not safe in tall. Oh, but I am safe sometimes. I never felt the balance. And the level of difficulty felt, I shouldn't say higher. It felt easier to die than it did back in the day. Maybe it's just my memory. Maybe it's just because I was getting caught way easier in this, that all of that was just working against me. But yeah, I was not having a very good time with Outlast 2, and I can definitely see why it definitely did not get the fanfare that the first one got. So I was quite disappointed with that. Also, I was ranting a little bit on stream. There's too many meters. You're keeping track of too many meters. Connor, name for me the meters you remember keeping track of in the first game.
As far as meters, there was only the batteries.
Batteries? Yes.
That was it.
Yeah, but then it'd be like things like line of sight, running away, them losing attention and stuff. Like, all these things are just like different meters and stuff that, your timers and your meters and stuff. In this game, way fucking more. So, you have your night vision thing with the battery life, that too.
Yeah.
But they also added a microphone element to where you could listen through walls and, pinpoint where enemies are through walls, which are also draining your battery. So now there's a lot more like sound element to the entirety of the game. You're making a lot more noise, they're making a lot more noise, and all of that noise matters. So there's all of that to keep track of. Then there's the stamina meter. You're running out of stamina all the fucking time. If you're swimming, you can drown. If you're running, you can run out of breath and have to slow down and get killed because the enemies run faster than you walk, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just, I can't even remember at this point because I was just not having a good time and I purged it all from my memory. There was other meters where I was just like, why is this another thing I have to keep track of? Why? Your damage, your health meter, you're keeping track of bandages, you're keeping track of batteries, you're keeping track of, all these things. It's just too much at once, man. I don't feel like I'm figuring out how the game works. I feel like I'm getting trapped and stuck and then just banging my head against the wall not until I figure it out, but until I stumble my way or brute force my way through this encounter. It was very frustrating, and I just didn't have a good time with Outlast 2.
Sounds very different to the first one, which I love. That's one of my.
I enjoyed the first one a lot. The first one has a lot of great stuff in it.
It has great villains that are chasing you around.
Yeah.
It has great environments because a lot like it really does seem like the open area of Outlast 2 wouldn't lend itself to what Outlast was.
Yeah.
Why people loved it. Because it was you going through these tight corridors. You didn't have much room to make mistakes.
Yeah.
You could take a hit, but then you would die on the second one. Usually. I think maybe been some exceptions, but for the most part, you had to just run down hallways, see event, and go in there.
Did you only have like 2 or 3 hits in the first one?
Yes.
I don't remember it that way. I remember being able to take a little more. Okay, maybe I'm capping on the level of damage, but maybe it's just because of just how easy it is to get detected in the second game that like it just felt like I was getting my ass handed to me way more.
Right, because one, you as long as you were smart and knowing where to hide, and like so, for example, if you went into a locker and they were nearby, they'd obviously know what locker you were in. So you would have to think about that and not just be outright stupid.
But it's also like these like closed interiors, like which meant that they could only come from a certain number of ways, which means there can only be so many enemies in the room. How many would you face at one time? 2?
Maybe 2, but they would always basically be one.
Yeah, like 2, maybe 3 max. Here, 3 is the regular. Like you're at least dealing with 3 enemies at one time. It's just too much.
Yeah, with all those meters, it especially seems like it'd be kind of overwhelming and not as scary and more just frustrating.
Yeah, and also I did not find any. There was one moment where I was like, oh, that's kind of creepy. But overall, I did not find just nothing got me. Mm-hmm. Nothing got me in this sequel game.
Right.
So I was a little disappointed in that. Other than that, I haven't been playing much, but we are returning to God of War 3 Remastered this week. Phil is playing that. I saw that he downloaded Jak 3.
Dun dun.
Which here we go.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you'll like it a lot.
We'll find out. So, anyways, other than that, everybody, make sure you keep track of all the cool upload stuff that we're having coming here in the near future. We've got a After the Hype for Until Dawn coming out this week. Keep an eye out for that. I plan to, but we'll see if I have enough time. I plan to edit and upload the Resident Evil 2 playthrough this next week. Keep an eye out for that. It was a lot of fun. We had some good conversations, it was just some good stream sessions with that Resident Evil 2. And then, of course, next week, and I'll pitch this again next week, I believe it's either going to be the Resident Evil 2 After the Hype or the Jak 2 After the Hype. Probably going to be Resident Evil 2. So, but we're recording both of them next week. Maybe it'll be both. Fuck it. Who knows? So keep an eye out for those things as well. If you want full reviews and thoughts and breakdowns of all of those games, or if you want to see some first-time gameplay playthroughs of some of those classics. Until then, Connor, do you have anything else to give us this week?
Not in terms of games, but I guess if we want to add a little bit more time to this one, because I know it sounds pretty short.
We're a little short. We got a little extra time. We can kick it for a minute.
Out of all the games that have come out this year, Obviously, we're nearing the end of the year.
Yeah.
Games are going to stop coming out. Or the more important thing is we're going to be doing our top 10 games of the year.
Yeah,
I'm assuming
will be coming. Our lists are solidifying. Phil should be in that episode, yeah.
Yeah, all hanging around, talking about what our favorite games
I'm planning on having a top 5 hype games. Have you ever played games with me and Phil coming out probably the same week or something, probably like Tuesday or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but in light of that, are there any games that you haven't played yet that you want to play in advance for that? Something you have planned?
Oh, dude, man, I'm dying to get back to Death's Door. Death's Door has consistently been on, I'm seeing a lot of people hail it as one of their favorite games of the year and all this, so I'm dying to get back to Death's Door because I really did enjoy what I started with that. I want to play Boyfriend Dungeon. People people seem to enjoy Boyfriend Dungeon quite a bit. I'm hearing a lot, this is the year of the time loop game. With games such as Deathloop and Returnal and 12 Minutes, but I'm hearing a lot of things about the Forgotten City. People are really, really enjoying the Forgotten City. So I do definitely want to give that one a shot. And then Guardians came out this last week, but I just didn't have time to get into it and play it, and I would rather spend my time with getting back to Metroid Dread or playing some Tales of Arise or something like that. So, Guardians is on the back burner for right now, but I wouldn't mind, touching up on some Guardians and getting some of that fun, Guardians of the Galaxy banter with some, cool enough action and some, dialogue choices or whatever. So, some people seem mostly positive about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Like people say it's fun.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of. It's fun. It's not like a must play, but it's fun. So I'm interested in giving it a shot and trying that. How about you, Connor? Where are you trying to double back and get to?
That's what I'm trying to decide what to play. Honestly, I am unsure. Metroid Dread looks good. But,
it's a really good game.
Yeah, it seems like it is, but I'm not sure if I feel like playing a 20-hour runtime, 15 to 20-hour runtime rogue game.
I don't know if it's going to be
roguelike. Is it? No, not roguelike.
No, it's a Metroidvania.
Metroidvania. That's the word I was looking for. A Metroidvania game. I don't know if I'm really.
I don't know if it'll take you that long to beat it, but okay.
Well, I thought it was around 15 to 20 hours.
It might be. I don't know.
Well,
I'm seeing playthroughs being beaten in like 4. So,
but
those are people who know what they're doing and know where to go and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. Like I said, it looks good. I don't know if I'm wanting to jump into a Metroidvania right now. I know that I want to play Back 4 Blood at some point. I do know that I need to make an upgrade to my PC to be able to play it, but I know I can also play it on my PS4 because crossplay is available.
Oh, they got crossplay on that bad?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I looked it up and I was like, okay, nice. So I'm interested in that. Those were the 2 big games that have been in my ear.
Yeah.
Because they look like they interest me the most. I might pick up the Guardians game as well. Not quite sure if I want to because I haven't been super crazy on
Guardians.
that. I'm probably not.
You're not playing Guardians.
Yeah,
You're gonna find some weird random ass fighting game and be like, I'm playing this week.
No. There's no
more. Like Connor's from 2011.
There's no more fighting games this year, Tavin. There's no more. I'd have to go play King of Fighters 98 if I want to get a new phone. It's got rollback now. But no, I guess there's this small horror game called The Convenience Store. I think
you mentioned this last week.
Did I?
I think so, or maybe I don't.
No, this is a different thing.
Oh, it's a different thing.
Speaking of, I actually should play that game. I can't remember the name of it, but The Convenience Store is an atmospheric Japanese horror game that's been in production for a while. Finally completed. You probably may have seen some streamers play it at some point. It's a short, simple game. Might pick that up. Seems interesting. I like atmospheric games.
There you go.
Yeah. Keep my eyes open again. Maybe go through the list of games that have come out this year and pick some that I'm able and willing to play. But yeah,
there you go. Yeah. Overall, it's been a pretty damn solid year for video games. I don't think there's been any oh my god, you have to play. There's no been God of War or anything, but there the level of quality has been quite high. Quite high. Lots of room for interpretation. Be like, man, yeah, that game was great, but man, I really enjoyed Ratchet and Clank this year. Or, yeah, Ratchet was cool, but man, let me talk to you about this Returnal game, man. This Returnal nails its systems down. Mm-hmm. Oh man, yeah, Returnal was cool, but man, have you heard about this little game called The Forgotten City, man? This is an even better time loop game. You should check this out. Oh, okay, yeah, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, solid year, this 2021, and I'm excited for more in the future. We're getting the Horizons. We're getting the God of War Ragnaroks. We'll see.
Yeah.
Did they say Spider-Man 2 is coming 2022?
No. They said 2023.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why I was like, oh shit, we're not getting that for a while.
Yeah, and I'm not expecting it for a while, so that's fine. Take your time with that. And then, we're just getting a lot of other stuff as the time goes on. I mean, we still got Halo coming down the line, and we still got, a couple of other joints still coming down the line. So, not a fully finalized list, but we're getting close.
I'm raring for Halo. That's definitely something I'm probably the next biggest game I'm excited for this year.
I'm very excited for Halo. Especially, did you watch that? Did you watch that campaign overview thing?
I did not.
Man, it was neat.
I heard it's really cool, but I didn't want to be exposed to any of that kind of stuff. I mean, is there anything, or is it like something that you?
There's a couple of systems that made me like my eyes, like my eyebrows raised, and I said, "Really, we're doing that?" Like there's like a hint at what looked like an upgrade tree system.
Really?
Yeah,
what?
and I was like, I don't know about all that, dude. That's a lot. And then it's like some more open world like type looking stuff. And I'm like,
Halo doesn't seem like it'd lend itself to an open world type action game.
Then they had a dude hop out of a Banshee with a rocket launcher, blow up a second Banshee, and then skyhook his way to a third Banshee and hijacked it, in which I went, all right, this is fucking dope.
Is that skyhook? It seems like whenever someone talks positively about the new Halo, the grappling hook always just inserts itself into the conversation, like how good it is and the crazy tricks you can do with it. That and some other device. It hasn't been as talked about. Are you aware of any other big things?
There's a shield.
Big in that?
He dropped a shield at some point.
No, it wasn't a shield.
I was like, that's neat. A shield. We've had those before. There was a dash ability where he turned invisible for a little bit. That was kind of neat. Anyways, it looks cool.
It does look cool.
So yeah, I'm very, very, very excited for Halo. Such a shame that we're not getting that co-op campaign, but I'll get the game out. At this point, so I'm not mad at that. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that has been your 2 Penny Gamescast episode 67 here over at the youtube.com/2 Penny Gamescast or mainstream podcast services of your choice, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. Please drop us a like, drop us a favorite, a follow, a subscribe, all of that. Share it with a friend, man. It really does help, and we really do appreciate it. Remember, you can catch us live, twitch.tv/2 Penny Games. We're playing some God of War 3, at least for a little while, and then maybe we're gonna stop and we're gonna do some Jak 3 as well. Phil says I'm gonna like Jak 3 more than I like the other two.
He said that.
He says I'll like it a lot. I'll see it when I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, man, I'll believe it when I hear it.
But until then, everybody have a great rest of your week. And Connor, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye.